Welcome to Hot Takes, brought to you by 50cupstea.com, where united we sip, discuss, and learn. Join us as we dive into the hottest takes on culture, business trends, and the threads that bind us. Get ready for inspiring stories, candid conversations, and a fresh perspective on living a healthy, fulfilled life. Grab your cup and tune in. Let's get started.
Hello, everyone. Ho, ho, ho. 'Tis that time of year. See, I can't be Santa Claus. It's time for 50 Cups Hot Takes, and this time we're going to talk about Christmas with the one and only Jim Baker, who is a very successful guy. He's an entrepreneur, and he's also owner of the 50 Cups Tea Company. And it's like you knew we were going to talk about Christmas today because the tea you brought in is spicy cinnamon. It's delicious. Perfect for the holidays.
It is. Perfect for today, actually. It's a little chilly outside, and we're getting close to Christmas.
Yeah.
So the weather's seasonal, which is great. And that voice, I think we got to get you a suit next year and a couple pillows, or we can fatten you up in 2026. Most people want to lose weight. Maybe you can gain it.
For you, Jim?
And then
absolutely,
you can have a second career next December.
Well, Christmas time, I love this time of year. I wish, you hear it all the time. People say, "Boy, I wish people were like this year round." But it is that time of the year where people tend to be nicer on one end of the spectrum, but also on the other end, they can be darn right nasty. I just thought maybe we could just open it up and talk and get your perspective on Christmas, some of your hot takes about your family and what's going on with you.
I will say that for me, Christmas it becomes better and better. When you have little kids, it's fun because you're excited for them, but you're also running around like a crazy person, and so is your wife.
Yeah.
And now my kids are older. We have grandkids, so it's different. We still host, and I think, unfortunately, that'll probably go away in the next, 3 or 4 years. Because if anything, like my wife and I, once our kids were, old enough, 2, 3, 4 years old, Santa Claus stayed at our house, and my guess is we're going to be, going someplace else, down the road. So I'm grateful for the fact that they're going to be still coming, to our house for this Christmas, but I know that's limited down the road. And I think the whole online world, in this case, has been great. So much easier to shop.
Oh, man, isn't it? It's one of the downsides for me. I'm not a big shopper, only because I don't know what to get people. I just don't. It's very frustrating. And so, with Amazon and all of the delivery systems, you really don't need to put pants on, Jim. You can just wait till they deliver it to your door.
I know, it's great. And my son's grill in Colorado caught on fire about a month ago. So he needed a new grill. So I thought, wow, great Christmas present. And kudos to Ace Hardware. I found a Ace location local to them, ordered the grill online. They put it together and delivered it last Saturday. And I'm thinking, if I had to do this 15, 20 years ago, 5 years ago, it would have been a burden on myself. And to your point, didn't have to dress up, didn't have to do anything. I just had to have a credit card.
Just take the credit and then pay the credit card, I guess.
And they were great. I mean, they delivered on time and everything else. And he's sent me videos of him cooking on it. He's very happy. I'm happy. And Ace is happy because they made some money.
I have, let me ask you this. I have a 10-year-old at home. And I've gone through this before with my older kids. And it's this time of year, especially they approach a certain age. And then people begin to wonder, little ones begin to wonder if Santa Claus is real or not. I happened to be at the doctor's office for just a checkup, and I was chit-chatting with the nurse, and I said, my 10-year-old's starting to question. I don't think she believes. What should I do? I said, what did you do with yours? She said, I told him right off the top, there's no Santa Claus. It's the parent, and you better mind yourself because I buy the gifts. You want any? You be good. So that's that attitude. And, of course, we love to have the kids kind of play into that whole Santa Claus thing. What did you do with your kids, if I may ask? When did you break the news to them? Were they just figured out it was you all along?
Just let them figure it out over time.
Yeah.
No one really asked. Our oldest believes, I think, probably the longest, maybe 10 or 11 years old. And then as the younger ones are coming up, the spell was broken by the older kids.
Sure, of course.
It never really was an issue for us. I mean, I remember doing the fireplace dust and the boots and the milk and the cookies.
Yeah.
And where we lived, you could look out the window and see these, I guess you could call them radio towers with red lights. and I would point out at night and say, that's the reindeer. And, they thought that was kind of cool.
Don't you miss that?
Until around 11 or 12.
Yeah, it was always tough getting them to sleep. I don't know if you opened your presents on the eve or the day. We were we opened them the next morning. But let me ask you then, I believed at some point you must have believed in Santa Claus. Did it change? I mean, it changed for me. That's why I'm asking. When you went from a believer to a non-believer, how did it change for you?
I remember vividly. I remember I had I think maybe 5th grade, and I had some older friends, and they were basically telling me there's no Santa.
Yeah.
And I didn't believe it.
You defended Santa.
So I decided to explore my house one day, and I pulled down the rope for the attic and went upstairs, and boom, there were the presents. So I had to give my mom and dad credit for a good hiding place. But once you're old enough and you're able to pull that rope down, then all bets are off. But I did keep it a secret and didn't wreck it for my brother was a year younger than me. So he and I probably figured it out at the same time. But then the other two, we kind of kept quiet until, they were of age, basically.
Yeah. When I saw a meme or something somewhere where they said, when you tell your child, if they're really asking, to first ask them if they really want the truth, if they do, because it's going to change your relationship with Santa. And I thought it was kind of a clever way to do it, and it's probably not original, but they make them Santa's helpers. In other words, to keep the little suckers quiet for all the younger ones. But I know that's such a big part of Christmas and family getting together. And your family's growing. You just mentioned that. I mean, you talked a little bit about what you're going to do, but are there any special traditions you guys do every Christmas?
Yeah, and just getting back to your original question, I think ultimately we just kept telling our kids, believe what you want to believe.
Right.
And, and then it took care of itself. But tradition. So we have a party every year. It's called Cookies and Cocktails on the 22nd. And it was primarily for our kids when they went to college, friends, and their parents. And
nice.
As we've aged, the party was kind of quiet and calm when they were younger, and as when they turned over 21, there was probably 4 or 5 years where it ended at 3 a.m.
Oh, wow.
And now we're seeing it rolling back to ending around 10 or 11. And this year it's probably going to end around 9:30 because a lot of our kids' friends have kids, so they bring the babies.
Sure.
And then they blow out of the house by, 8 or 8:30, 9 o'clock at night. So I don't think we're going to have a very late night this year. So you can see that evolution. So that's the tradition. But the cool thing is the next morning, the 23rd, who's ever home, in this case, it's always my daughters, that no matter what, they'll either drive in or they'll be there. They've taken copious notes in their head the entire night before. And basically it's a recount of what happened the night before. And it's great conversation for a couple hours as we go through, all the good things that happened in the party. And then we always name an MVP, somebody who went above and beyond the partying part of the party. And so there's always somebody that will leave various plates and or beer cans on the way to the car. One year, a girl left her wallet in the grass that I found at 7 o'clock in the morning. So there's always a story. But we select the MVP, and then we'll send out a group text to all of our guests saying, congratulations, you became the MVP. Then the last thing we do is on Christmas Eve night, we always read Twas the Night Before Christmas, and each kid took a turn reading a page. And we started doing that probably when, they were, reading age, 8 or 9 years old. And they still do it today. And our oldest is 34 years old. So that's kind of cool.
You're a risky guy, with the advent of YouTube. You're lucky they're just talking about it, Jim. I might see you someday with a lot of clicks. How about presents? What do you spend on Christmas? A lot of people go, I think I've fallen to that group where I spend more than I should, but how do you feel about spending in Christmas and presents?
I remember my mom, who's a phenomenal mom. She's still alive. I had her on as a guest here, 6 months ago or so, but she would always overspend on Christmas when we were kids and we didn't have the money. And then she absolutely overspent for my kids, and to the point where I had to say to her, it's not about quantity. I can't have you buying more gifts than us. Right. We have a limit.
You're making us
and, I'd say probably our limit it was a couple $100, nothing crazy.
Per kid?
Per kid, yeah. And that's kind of how we kept it. So I had to tell my mom, and it turned out to be a problem, for a little while between her and I, but she adjusted, and now that she's older, it doesn't really matter anymore. But, I just remember it's like, we don't need to overindulge at Christmas. I mean, there's a bigger meaning here.
Well, there you go. And that was going to transition into that, because we talk about Santa and elves and present and trees. And obviously we celebrate Christmas. The real reason we celebrate is, if you're a Christian, is because of the birth of Jesus Christ. So religious versus the pagan holiday that we celebrate with Macy's and the rest of the group. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's important to us. And we always go to Mass. We're Catholic. We go to Mass on Christmas Eve. We fight the crowds. Some of us get there early, me, that sit. And my wife, for whatever reason, wants to show up like 5 minutes before because the crowds drive her nuts.
Yep.
So I've offered my seat, but she protests and she wants to stand in the back. But we have everybody that goes. Everybody goes, and we then reflect on it. After we have a Christmas Eve where whoever's ever in town, extra family comes over. My wife hosts Christmas Eve, and then we'll reflect on the meaning of Christmas, and then we obviously read the book, which goes back to the Macy's part of Christmas with Santa Claus.
Right.
But the night before Christmas, there's a little bit of a spiritual component in the book that we read.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, it's all about reminding why we're actually here.
Well, yeah, but not that there's anything really wrong with that. It's just, it's a wonderful time to get together with family. And it's probably the one thing we all share, whether you're a Christian or not, is the Christmas holiday for the most part. And we go through it throughout our life. You start off as a little kid believing something, and it changes. And now you're growing older. You've got grandkids. I got grandkids. And things do change. So as you look over your shoulder, Jim, and you go, wow, I remember, and now here we are. Have they gotten better for you, Christmases, or do you miss anything about it, getting together back in the day? I
really don't. I mean, it was cool being a Christmas as a kid, but as an adult and as a parent, they're all great.
Right.
We haven't had any crazy Christmases. We haven't had any, YouTube stories, so to speak. Thankfully, no one's gotten sick. We had one year where I think bronchitis was flying through the adult population in our household. And Colleen and I were both sick at the same time, but we powered through it. The kids were fine, One thing I try to do now is do something different at Christmas. So this year I'm doing the rosary in a year. So every day you do the rosary on this Father Mark, who's a podcaster. But my daughter said, hey, anybody interested in reading a chapter of Luke, during Christmas, the 25 days or so before Christmas. So I said, sure. So I'm doing that right now.
Oh, neat.
Which is kind of cool. How about you? Anything going on with you?
Just, trying to save enough money for the overspending I'm about to partake on. I am an overspender, but no, I look at it and I get more joy out of giving than I ever got out of getting. I didn't know that when I was getting, though, because I was young. And our Christmases were always, because I came from a divorced family, we had to split up who we were going to go see. So we came up with the tradition, it carries through now, that on New Year's Eve is when we get together with our family to give presents and celebrate Christmas. On Christmas, we do get together with them, but it's more or less something that they do individually for their kids. You're probably going to be faced with that too, and get up on Christmas morning and Christmas Eve and that sort of thing. So that seems to be working out. But spiritually, I've been on that journey now for a few years, and it's becoming more and more important. And I just feel like I'm falling a little short on that. And we're going to keep working at it, because when it really comes down to it, this is wonderful to get together with family, but there's something much bigger, I believe, than what we're experiencing here. So it has to be incorporated, I think. And it's tough to do. And nowadays, because there's so much competition, right? There's a new electronic toy. There's this and that. And,
sure.
So, yeah.
In our Catholic church, in our parish, one could argue that there's not enough people are coming back to the church.
Right.
But they all seem to show up at Christmas and Easter. So that tells me that they believe, and it's important enough for them to come on the holidays. It's less important for them to come during the year.
Right.
But you never know. Maybe this year, some family says, you know what, I'm gonna be more dedicated to my faith, going forward. Who knows? But the cool thing is they all show up at Christmas still. Aggravating to some of us, but nonetheless, it's great to see everybody there.
Well, and you can certainly, I think, head of your household and what your belief system is and what you celebrate with your kids. Hopefully that's something everyone does, whether they go to church or not,
Yeah.
But I hate that here's this talking about God and spiritual and all of that. And now let's talk about the gripes you might have about Christmas and some of the things that we're all putting up with, like trying to get into the mall parking lot in less than an hour.
God bless you for even going to the mall.
No, I don't go to the mall.
I drove right by it the other day.
Yeah, no.
Not necessarily a Christmas gripe per se, just continue on the theme of positive. I used to be a anti-Christmas Carol person because here in the Southeast, decorations come up before Thanksgiving. Mm-hmm. The radio stations start cranking out Christmas carols after Halloween, basically.
Yeah,
but my daughters especially were like, oh, this is great. I mean, they thought Christmas season started on November 1st. And growing up, Christmas started after Thanksgiving. And I don't know if it's a Southern thing or if it's just the marketing blitz of merchandising these days, but it seems like we just go from Halloween right to Christmas, right?
Right.
Nonetheless, I was anti-Christmas Carol till after Thanksgiving, and I would turn them off. I would, tell my kids they couldn't listen to them when I was in the car.
Oh, humbug.
And they would give it right back to me. And I've decided, you know what, I'm going to embrace it. So I do listen to carols, and I did them before Thanksgiving this year. I will say the problem with listening so early is that they don't know what to play and there's been a lot of bad music that's been recorded as Christmas carols that you have to kind of slug through. So you're constantly changing the stations or you just go to Spotify and play your favorites.
Right.
Well, the other night I was in Charlotte and I decided to Uber, and first person I get in the Uber, driver, he's playing Christmas carols, which I thought was kind of cool. And I don't know if they've been told by Uber, but I don't think they have. Anyhow, gave me a nice cash tip and I thanked him for playing Christmas carols and wished him a Merry Christmas. One thing I've learned, when you tip off the Uber app, they don't get all the money. So if you do care about tipping the Ubers, give them cash. They're very happy. Not going to benefit you at Uber at all, and they're not going to come back and pick you up on the side, but it's just a nice gesture. So I got picked up again, different person. Probably needed to clean his windshield, had that fog thing going on the windshield. But and I don't understand why they don't put the defroster on sometimes. That's another story for another time. And anyhow, he also was cranking out Christmas carols. So he got a nice tip as well. So it's kind of nice that, it seems like these, everything where I'm going these days, everybody seems to be in the spirit, which is nice.
Do you like there hasn't been a lot of good new stuff. Excuse me, I cleared my throat here. What do you like? The new stuff or the old vintage traditional stuff, like the Bing Crosby, Dean Martin type stuff, or Mariah Carey stuff?
Yeah, so
which isn't all that current, I guess.
No, it's not. But I do like the new old stuff. Mariah Carey, going back a little further, Bruce Springsteen. Mm-hmm. I think the Killers might have done a song. So I like that stuff. The old stuff, it's kind of boring. And there's nothing, by the way, what is originating other than AI in our country at this point in time? All the movies are remakes. Right. The songs are remakes. We don't have any really good new bands that I'm aware of that have hit our generation at least.
Right.
So I like to, the Santa Claus is Coming to Town by Springsteen, although he's not my favorite in the world. That's a great song. Gets you fired up, picked up, happy, all that kind of stuff. And you can't beat Mariah Carey's song.
No, she hits the Billboard top 40 every Christmas, and so that was a pretty good gig for her. Yeah. She collects a lot of money just for that one song.
Here's a hot take on some 50 Cups tea.
Green tea is known to have a variety of benefits as it contains polyphenols, which helps with lowering inflammation in the body. It also contains L-theanine, which is incredible for cognitive function and mood, and catechins, which support a healthy heart. Polyphenol antioxidants work in aiding weight loss, and the antioxidant properties in polyphenols also kill cancerous cells, stopping them from growing, which green tea has the potential to fight cancer.
Visit 50cupstea.com to find out more.
I don't know, it's kind of cool to just see everybody with a little bit of a bounce in their step. And I know for folks who, this can be a tough time too, for a lot of different reasons. We used to and still do donate to food and try to offer up some service where we can and volunteer. How do you feel about that? Folks giving back.
Yeah, I think it's great. This is the year. I mean, I know I'm involved with a lot of nonprofits, and I know, once Giving Tuesday rolls around, the first Tuesday in December, through the end of the year, that's usually where they generate most of their donations. And I think it's great. I've struggled with charities throughout the year because on the face of it, a lot of them say they do great stuff, but in reality, your money is not really going to what it's intended to do. So I've really done a deeper dive this year on what I'm donating to. And it's been hard, to try to find that charity where the money is going directly to the homeless, let's say, or to feed people, or to educate people or whatever. So I think it's great. I encourage it, but I just think better make sure that your money is going where you want it to go.
Yeah, we always have a tree at school, or radio stations usually sponsor individuals who can't afford a gift for their child, which always gives me pause, I guess. You sometimes forget about those individuals. We think of them at this time of year, but the rest of the year it's a bit of a struggle for them, and we don't really think about it. It's hard to believe that a child might wake up and not have a Christmas gift from Santa. It is. So it's nice to hear folks step in. I mean, I hear stories from old people, getting an orange and things like that, but being grateful.
There's one entity I don't want to give any extra money to, and that's the airlines. So you asked
do you
about
have an airline story? I'd love to hear an
one in.
Yep.
So United
yes.
Airlines, who I fly a lot, I have a flight credit. Whenever I fly international, I book a backup just in case the original gets bamboozled. So, and then if I cancel it, I just keep the flight credit, or if I buy a fully refundable ticket, I'll get the money back.
Good idea.
Well, I didn't have the option for the fully refundable in this case. So I, bought a ticket and knew it was going to turn into a flight credit, which it did. And so then the other day I was booking some domestic flights for some future travel and went to use my credit, and I can't use the credit. Doesn't tell me why, just simply tells me call. Now,
I hate that.
I'm not stupid because I fly a lot. I think I'm under the impression that the airlines absolutely don't want you to call a human being in their company. They want you to do everything online.
That's true.
So then I'm thinking to myself, why in the world would they make me call? So I called.
Of course.
Got the wonderful music after going through the artificial intelligence for a little while. And they told me my whole time would be about 10 minutes. No callback option, by the way.
Right.
And about 18 minutes later, I get somebody on the phone and go through the same thing I just explained to you.
Mm-hmm.
And the agent's like, yeah, you have to call. And I said, why? She goes, well, that's ticket XY class, blah, blah, blah. You have to call, but you only have to call once. And I said, well,
makes no
sense. That's what I said.
Yeah.
I said, look, I know your whole airline wants us to be online. And by the way, in the recording, it says, if you need to book a reservation, we're going to charge you an extra $39 to do it, where it's free. And I shouldn't say it's free, but there's no extra charge to book something on the app or on the site. So anyhow, I started going through my stuff with her, and the flight that I'm taking, I have it on my app. Then she says, you have to get off your app because I can't do the ticket. So then I have to get off.
Uh-huh.
So we go through everything, and I said, I know what the price is. And she says, it looks like you're going to burn your entire credit up. I said, that's impossible. I said, there's no way, because I'm looking at the price and I know what it is. And it's maybe 20% of this credit.
Right.
And hold on a second. So now I'm in minute 23 on my phone. Minute 45, she gets back on the phone.
I love your persistence. I just love it. That's why you're successful.
Well, meanwhile, I'm making breakfast.
Everyone else has hung up long ago.
I'm doing stuff. I just have it on speaker. And
wow.
So she pops back on, and I was living in fear of getting dropped.
Absolutely.
And having to go through this whole thing again, right?
Yes.
Thankfully, that didn't happen that day. And she says, okay, I got the price, I got the ticket, blah, 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 seats, blah, blah, blah. And you'll have a credit back, but we have to charge you a change fee. I said, what?
She goes, you're flying to Denver.
The old pre-COVID change fee is back.
Oh, my goodness.
I said, well, what do you mean? You guys, I thought there was no more change fees. Well, because you bought an international ticket and now you're flying domestic only, we have to charge you a change fee.
Well, of course, you can understand the bookkeeping. It's got to be.
You got to hit one extra prompt.
Absolutely.
So meanwhile, my head's about to blow off my shoulders. And so I'm like, fine.
You never lose your cool, though, do you? No. Have you ever lost your cool and just let someone have it?
I was not yelling. I said,
I know you don't.
This is unbelievable. And I started laughing. And she goes, well, I know you're upset. And I said, wouldn't you be? And she didn't respond.
Yeah.
Because she knows she would be upset also. So anyhow, we got it done. And now the good news is, and she's made it sound like this is the greatest thing. It's like health insurance.
Look what I've done for you.
Just so you know, now that you've broken the flight credit, so to speak, the remaining balance can be booked without a phone call. I'm like, oh wow.
It's so nice of them to do that. Airlines, I guess you got to give them credit for trying to get a buck wherever they can get a buck, but it is infuriating. And people are flying this time of year.
Yeah.
And based on what I've heard about air traffic controllers and everything else, I'm not sure I want to do that. But has your flying been relatively smooth for you? You do it a lot.
I have. I've been very fortunate so far. Even during the government shutdown, I flew and I didn't have any delays or anything. So I've been lucky. But listen, as we all know, you get on that plane, you get nothing. Right. You're lucky they even give you a seat these days. And, you just hope you get there and back on time and safely.
Yeah.
Right.
Really, we've lowered our expectations right across the board, I think, on everything. For me, I think the most fun, talking about Christmas, is for us, we celebrate Christmas morning, is because I have a 10-year-old in the house, and we've each year now, over the years, it's been so much fun to watch her open things up and have this innocence and this thrill about life, opening up some of the dumbest things you could possibly buy for a kid, right? As we get older, we kind of lose that. Do you have something you really look forward to in your household?
When it's over.
You're what?
I just said when it's over. I'm just kidding. Yeah, like I said, we opened on Christmas morning. Right. And when the kids were younger, I would pretend, my wife would pretend to, they'd jump on our bed at 7:00 in the morning and we're like, it's too early.
Oh, yeah.
But we get up and, so you lose that exuberance and that innocence. Now it's 9:00 and, everybody's awake and have had their coffee, tea, my case, and we're kind of just hanging out, talking. And then we just open, a non-chaotic, gift process.
Right.
But there was a time there where they were teenagers, and you've been through this, and college kids where they'd come out, half eyes closed, they'd lay on the couch, sleeping. They wouldn't make any room for anybody. And, but that stage is gone now.
Right.
So, but I just like the morning piece of it, but then I love the Christmas dinner in the afternoon. And we just have it usually just does at that point in time.
Right.
And it's intimate, and it's fun, and it's good.
And
no turkey.
No turkey?
Yeah. Turkey should be banned from any holiday meal, especially Thanksgiving.
Especially Thanksgiving, really?
Not veal. Filet, any type of steak.
Good. So our crab legs are wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything with turkey, you have to choke down. It's dry. It's terrible.
Yeah. Well, good to know. Well, we won't invite you over for that turkey dinner that we were planning.
Who in this listening audience dreams about eating a turkey? Nobody.
Okay. Any words, any advice for the folks who are watching, listening?
Yeah. Well, for United Airlines, don't ever buy a international ticket that you're going to want to try to exchange for a domestic ticket. Number one. I don't know. I just think maybe just reflect on the fact that you're alive. because we lost some dear friends this year.
Yes.
And you're healthy.
Yep.
And your family's still around.
Yep.
I know, like I said, you and I both lost significant people this year.
Yep.
You more so than me. And it's okay. Because you know what? Christmas lasts 24 hours just like every other day. And, I think we tend to get stressed out with extra family members that might be around that you don't necessarily spend a lot of time with during the year. And suddenly you got to hug them and kiss them and think they're great, for 4 or 5 hours. And you hope to God they don't say something stupid.
Yep.
And thankfully we don't have that anymore, but we did for a while.
Yeah.
But I don't know, just take it and just appreciate the fact that there's a reason why we're here at Christmas time. And
those are wonderful words.
Don't
bring up Trump or any of that over the filet mignon, I guess.
Filet mignon,
not
baby.
a good idea.
Yep. I got to call my guy today, actually, and make sure I get it.
Well, I hope you do. And, this was kind of fun. And what time was the cookie party? In case people want to...
7 o'clock, the 22nd.
All right. Sounds like it's going to be an early night now, Jim. So.
Yeah. Oh, wait, one more thing.
Yes.
In our neighborhood,
yes,
we have people that will put the Christmas lights on your house.
Oh, yes.
I know it's expensive for some, but if you're like me, pre-Christmas was wildly aggravating and stressful because your wife every year would want extra stuff on the house. You had to get up on a ladder. You had to pull stuff out of the crawl space that never worked.
Yes.
It was a nightmare.
One bulb.
I hate it.
Yep.
This guy shows up. He could charge me triple what he's charging me right now. He throws that stuff up. We hit a switch. She's thrilled. I'm thrilled times 10.
You have his card. I was actually thinking about doing that.
I don't know if it goes up your way, but I'll give it to you. It's the best money ever spent.
Yeah.
And if you're worried you can't afford it, just don't go do takeout from January till April. It'll pay for itself. You'll be healthier anyhow, and you can pay for the Christmas lights.
I forgot about that. I got that to do this weekend. I've been putting it off.
Yeah, I know. I know why too.
All right. Well, Merry Christmas, everybody.
You as well. Merry Christmas, everybody.
God bless. Wait. Last minute gift. Something you should have at your Christmas party, and I bet you do, is this wonderful tea that you sell. If you need something special for that loved one on your Christmas list, how do they get this tea, Jim?
50cupstea.com. Get it quick because come January 1, the website might be turned off, so get it quick.
Okay. Ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas, everyone.
All right, God bless.
Thanks for joining us on Hot Takes 50 Cups. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to visit our website at 50cupstea.com for more great content and delicious organic teas, and listen and watch us on all the leading platforms. Stay connected with us on Instagram at 50cupstea, YouTube, and TikTok. And don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share with your friends. Until next time, keep sipping and stay united.